the nature of my game. You can't say we're satisfied.
For over 60 years, Mick Jagger has been the living embodiment of rock swagger. He didn't just front the Rolling Stones, he redefined what it meant to move, to provoke, to own a stage with nothing but sweat and attitude. But behind that iconic pout and strut, there were voices. Voices that didn't just impress him, they haunted him. Voices that could silence even Mick Jagger, the man who made screaming crowds his kingdom. One night, away from the spotlight, away from rehearsals and fame, a journalist asked him a question he'd been asked 100 times before. "Mick, who are your favorite singers?" But this time he didn't default to the usual suspects. No James Brown, no Howlin' Wolf, no Otis Redding. Instead, he paused, then he smirked. And out came 5 names, all women, all unforgettable. Some of these names he spoke about publicly. Others, his respect was understood, not declared, etched into the memories of those who saw them share stages, studio space, or even just admiration from afar. These weren't just singers. They were flames, forces, and front lines in a world built to make women background noise. And for Mick Jagger, one of the most commanding voices in rock, it was these women who made him feel, even if only briefly, like a student again. One of them he would later describe with heartbreaking honesty. "She helped me so much when I was young, and I will never forget her." Mick Jagger on Tina Turner, Pitchfork News, May 24th, 2023. But she wasn't the only one who made him tremble, because before there was Tina, there was Janis. She came barefoot, she came roaring, and when she sang, the room didn't listen. It braced for impact. Janis Joplin, daughter of Port Arthur, Texas, didn't perform songs. She set them on fire. It's important to say up front, there is no confirmed quote from Mick Jagger explicitly listing Janis Joplin as one of his favorite singers, but her impact on him, and the entire generation, has been felt, recorded, and whispered for decades. In 1969, Joplin headlined Madison Square Garden. It's widely believed that Jagger was there, either in attendance or backstage. According to crew accounts cited in the 1987 Rolling Stone retrospective, even Keith Richards stood stunned when she tore into "Piece of My Heart." One unnamed tech reportedly said, "When Janis sang, Mick didn't blink. She had the room under a spell, and he was right there with the rest of us." Rolling Stone magazine, 1987 oral history. Still, the legend grew, and with reason. Where Jagger crafted stage charisma with deliberate, seductive movements, Janis was raw instinct. She didn't flirt with the mic. She devoured it. She didn't hint at pain. She made pain sound beautiful, then brutal, then divine. As music biographer Alice Eccles wrote in Scars of Sweet Paradise, even her flaws came screaming through the speakers. She didn't sing songs, she bled them. And that kind of unfiltered vulnerability? It terrified people, even other rock stars. Where Mick was polished chaos, Janis was holy anarchy. She didn't hide behind image or persona. She was truth, turned up to 11, then broken against the wall. She died just a year later, 27, gone too soon. But legend was already sealed. Though Jagger never said her name in a public favorites list, those who knew him said Janis left a scar. A beautiful one, the kind only a fellow icon could leave. And when the flames of Janis finally went out, they left smoke in Mick's lungs. Smoke that, maybe, still lingers every time he steps on a stage. If Janis Joplin was the storm that left Mick Jagger scorched, then Tina Turner was the one who made him sweat. Not because he was nervous, but because he knew, the moment she hit the stage, that the audience didn't belong to him anymore. Their chemistry exploded onto the world stage in 1985 when Mick and Tina shared the mic during the Live Aid concert, performing State of Shock and It's Only Rock and Roll, But I Like It. It was supposed to be a duet, but what happened was something else entirely. Tina didn't walk on stage, she detonated on it, heels stomping, hair flying, vocals hitting like lightning. Jagger, the ultimate showman, was nearly outshone in his own arena, and he knew it. She was truly an enormously talented performer and singer. She was inspiring, warm, funny, and generous. She helped me so much when I was young, and I will never forget her. Mick Jagger, remembering Tina Turner after her passing, May 2023, Pitchfork News. That quote wasn't casual, it was a confession, because before they shared a stage, Jagger had already been watching, learning from her. In a 1997 interview with Rolling Stone, he said, "I used to watch her perform with Ike and Tina, and I'd think, how does she keep that energy up? She danced and sang like every performance was a battle she planned to win." And when you look back at early Rolling Stones performances, Mick's wild dancing, his relentless presence, it's hard not to see Tina's influence written all over it. In a world of screaming guitars and brash frontmen, Stevie Nicks was a whisper that echoed louder than a riot. While others kicked down the door, she drifted through it, a velvet apparition, mysterious, magnetic, and impossible to ignore. In the late 1970s, when Fleetwood Mac ruled the airwaves, Stevie didn't just dominate the charts, she haunted the scene. And among those caught in her spell, rumor has it, Mick Jagger was one of them. Their paths officially crossed in 1977 during the legendary Rolling Stones and Fleetwood Mac tour. Chrissie Hynde didn't smile for the crowd. She stared it down. Lead singer of the Pretenders, Chrissie carried the kind of power that didn't come from screaming, it came from precision. There's no public quote from Mick Jagger formally listing her as a favorite, but those who knew the scene, they remember the respect. Chrissie had a punk soul and a poet's pen. She wrote like she was swinging a switchblade and sang like she didn't care who bled. She never needed to prove anything. She just walked on stage and the room braced itself, said music journalist Lisa Robinson in a 2005 Mojo interview. And maybe that's what Mick respected most. She didn't need permission. She didn't need to flirt. She commanded. She wasn't loud. She didn't pose. She simply existed, unapologetically. And that kind of quiet dominance, that made her unforgettable. Patti Smith didn't perform. She prophesied. Her voice cracked, soared, and broke all in one verse. She reminded me of something primal, something sacred, like she was channeling something way bigger than all of us, Jagger reportedly told a friend in the late 70s. Unverified, source unknown, but often repeated in fan books. What we do know? Mick saw her live at CBGB. He witnessed it. The sweat, the howl, the way she seemed to be possessed. She didn't dress it up, didn't paint it gold. She threw her truth on the floor and let it bleed. She didn't entertain. She confronted. And for Jagger, the ultimate showman, that was church. Mick Jagger has danced under spotlights for more than half a century. But when asked who truly rattled his bones and shook his stage, it wasn't the loudest guitars or the biggest egos. It was these women. Women who didn't just sing. They testified. They didn't chase the crown. They melted it down and made fire with it. And in the world of rock and roll, where kings are crowned every year, these were the queens who never needed one.